Hello Pokemon trainers, welcome back to another Pokemon Scarlet and Violet Battle Stadium singles video here on iStarly TV. This is part of my Pokemon Moveset Spotlight for Battle Stadium singles, my series, where I showcase a unique moveset for a Pokemon. And it's typically one that, maybe you're not too familiar with, and, I give you the stats, the EV spreads, everything, so you could try it out yourself. So today we're featuring Shell Smash Blastoise in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. And yeah, let's just get right to it. So look how slow he is. I think he needs to be in the water because look how slow he is otherwise. Of course, oops. I accidentally fought a Pokemon that was too strong, but oh no, did he die? Or anyways, he almost died. But the 7-star Blastoise event was very recently, so you might have picked up a 7-star Blastoise for yourself, and if you did, that's great. It was Terra Steel type, which coincidentally this Blastoise set is also Terra Steel. So if you did pick up a 7-star Blastoise in that raid event, it's already Terra Steel, so you don't need to change the Terra type if you're going to use this set. Of course, you can catch Blastoise Squirtle in, I think it's the Canyon biome, correct me if I'm wrong, maybe the Coastal biome in Scarlet and Violet as well, in the Indigo Disk DLC. So if you didn't get Blastoise, obviously there's a lot of ways to get it. You can also transfer it from older games and stuff via Pokemon Bank and Pokemon Home. But anyways, let's get right to the set here. So this is Terra Steel Blastoise. The ability here, of course, is going to be Torrent, because Rain Dish only matters if you're in the rain. I guess if you have a rain Pokemon like Pelipper or Politoed, you could go Rain Dish to get a little bit of recovery, but honestly I think Torrent is just better because it means that if you get low on health, your moves do more damage, your water moves in particular. And for the moves, I like to go here. There's a few options for the moves. Because we're going Terra Steel, I definitely like running Flash Cannon, but from there's really a lot of options. Hydro Pump, Flash Cannon, and Dark Pulse, in addition to, of course, Shell Smash, because that's the whole point of the set, is to set up a Shell Smash. And so again, really you can change things around. As far as moves, there's a lot of options here, but this is what I like going for. Again, Hydro Pump, Flash Cannon, and Dark Pulse. The downside to these three moves is that you get walled by Urshifu, who's a pretty common Pokemon, water type Urshifu. So if you want to be able to take down Urshifu, you might need to swap Dark Pulse for something like Focus Blast or Aura Sphere, which is another good option as well. So that's kind of where I'm putting it. It is also possible to maybe not run Hydro Pump because it's so inaccurate. Obviously, then you miss out on the Torrent boost. Like at that point, Torrent doesn't matter because Torrent only boosts your water type moves. And also you miss out on Stab. But of course, if you Terrasilize into a Steel type, you have basically Steel type Stab at that point. So you could go like Flash Cannon, Aura Sphere, and Dark Pulse to have really good coverage, or you could go Flash Cannon, Aura Sphere, and Ice Beam as well. Ice Beam obviously gives you a better matchup against Dragonite. And for the item, we have White Herb. So White Herb, what that does is when your stats get lowered, they reset. Like when your stats get lowered, they basically get unlowered, if that makes sense. I don't know why it's hard for me to explain that. But so when we use Shell Smash and we're holding the White Herb, obviously Shell Smash doubles our attack, it doubles our special attack, and it doubles our speed. And then it lowers our defense and special defense. But with White Herb, it resets the defense and the special defense after the drop. So it makes it so that basically they don't get lowered. Blastoise is a naturally tanky Pokemon. It's really tanky. It's got a good HP stat, good defense, and good special defense. So you can tank hits from most things that are not super effective. And with White Herb, again, it makes it so that you can survive hits better because you're taking a turn to set up Shell Smash. Once you have a Shell Smash, your special attack stat is really high. Your speed stat is pretty high as well. You outspeed most things. And let's talk about those EVs. So the EV spread here, we have max special attack with a modest nature, obviously just to hit as hard as possible. Blastoise, unfortunately, doesn't have a fantastic special attack stat, so we need that boost, and we need every bit of special attack that we can get. Then we have enough speed EVs to outspeed like up to Iron Bundle after a Shell Smash. And that is, of course, Iron Bundle that does not have a booster energy. That's the problem. So we outspeed Iron Bundle and Fluttermane and Chien-Pao after a Shell Smash. But of course, if Fluttermane or Iron Bundle are holding a booster energy, we will not outspeed them. So keep that in mind if you're going to use this set as well. We do outspeed Chien-Pao, which is a really fast Pokemon that's really good. Of course, Chien-Pao typically has Sucker Punch, so that's something to keep in mind as well. But obviously we outspeed everything that's slower than those Pokemon, such as Urshifu, Dragonite, Goldango, Ogerpon. We outspeed just about everything. So, you know, if you can send in Blastoise against something that it can wall pretty nicely and set up a Shell Smash, you can definitely sweep certain teams. So that's the downside with Blastoise. Blastoise is an awesome Pokemon. I really like it, and it doesn't get that much love, possibly for good reason, but there are a lot of Pokemon that can kind of, you know, even if you can survive hits from them, you're not doing all that much damage to them unless you get a Shell Smash, so that's something to keep in mind as well. So we talked about item, we talked about EVs, talked about Terra type, talked about moves. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. However, I do want to talk a little bit about, you know, Pokemon that you can pair this with. So Pokemon that work really well with Blastoise. One Pokemon that I've been using a lot and advocating for is Incineroar. Incineroar is a great pair. Basically, anything that you want to pair with this are Pokemon that can help you set up or help you sweep. And there's a lot of different ways you can do that. So whatever you feel like your team needs, you can there's a lot of different options. So there's Pokemon like, again, Incineroar, which can lower the enemy's stats. The Incineroar build I've been using has, you know, obviously it has Intimidate, it has Parting Shot, it has Will-O-Wisp. So you're just weakening the enemy so that when you go into your Blastoise, the enemy is basically doing very little damage to you, which makes it a lot easier to set up a Shell Smash. And maybe by lowering all their stats, you might force them to switch out, which again might give you a chance for Blastoise to set up. Also, a Pokemon that set up screens like Alolan Ninetales is a good partner for this, because Alolan Ninetales can set up Hail automatically by itself, and then it can set up both screens in one move, and then your Ninetales can either switch out or get off some damage, or faint, and then you can go into Blastoise, and with Aurora Veil up, again, you're tanking hits extremely well thanks to that, and you can more easily set up. There's also Pokemon that can status the enemy, such as, for example, Breloom, who can put them to sleep, or you know, Pokemon that can Thunder Wave or stuff like that. That's always pretty nice as well. You can again incapacitate the enemy, make it so that they can't attack, and then you can switch into Blastoise and set up those moves. And then finally, there's just Pokemon that hit really hard. So, you know, you can definitely use good Pokemon, like obviously there's Fluttermane, there's Ogerpon, there's Ursaluna. These Pokemon just hit really hard. This could allow you to obviously blast holes in the enemy team so that when you do go into Blastoise later on, it's easier to set up. And in fact, I do recommend setting up with Blastoise really as late in the battle as possible, because if you do it right away, especially if the enemy has like 3 Pokemon left on their team and you don't know who all of them are, you could like set up a Shell Smash and then maybe get a KO, but then if they go into something that can wall you, it kind of just really sets you back. Like, for example, if you get a KO and then they go into Dondazo, who has Unaware, which means that your boosts are ignored, that could be a problem. Or if they go into like Toxapex, who's just extremely tanky. So keep that in mind. I mean, obviously, if there's an opportunity, it is possible you could set up another Shell Smash if you know the enemy is just not going to be doing that much damage to you. With 2 Shell Smashes, you should be able to knock out a lot of Pokemon at that point, but that's the thing with Blastoise. Once again, it is unique. The reason I'm going over it is because it's very unique. Like, as far as Pokemon that get Shell Smash as far as Pokemon that get Shell Smash go, Blastoise is a good balance of, I mean, its stats are just so balanced. Like, it has okay speed, it has good bulk, it has okay offensive stats. So it's just really well rounded, and water is just a fantastic type. So that's what sets it apart from other Shell Smashers. If you look at other Shell Smashers in the game right now, like Torterra or Magcargo or Sinistee, each of those has a pretty like notable weakness about them, even though some of them have strengths over Blastoise as well. So yeah, Shell Smash is a tricky move. There's a reason why it doesn't see that much play competitively, because it takes time to set up, and of course it lowers your stats. And if you want to mitigate that, you probably want to run the White Herb item, and if you do that, then it makes it it takes up your item slot. So yeah, I think an argument for that is just that people might say that, you know, Blastoise requires too much setup for not the best payoff. But of course, if you're a Blastoise fan, then it might be worth trying out, right? And I love using Pokemon that don't get a lot of love, a lot of Pokemon that people don't expect. It's really fun to me. So that is Blastoise in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet Battle Stadium Singles. This is once again my Shell Smash Blastoise set. Now, I do have another Blastoise set that I showed off in one of my previous videos. So I'll post a link to that video at the end. It's a video where I have a team that has Blastoise and Sneasler on it. So you'll see in the thumbnail that, oh wow, look how fast he swims. That's pretty cool. You'll see in the thumbnail that, you know, it has Sneasler and Blastoise in the thumbnail. Sneasler ended up being kind of the MVP of that match, but I still had some good Blastoise showcasing. And again, that's a very different Blastoise set if you want to try out some more Blastoise. Blastoise is, again, it's a cool Pokemon, and if you wanted to try a Rain team with Rain Dish, that's also an option. I mean, yeah, it's worth trying out, right? So thank you very much for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe for more Pokemon Scarlet and Violet videos. Let me know in the comments what you thought about this. Also, let me know what Pokemon you'd like to see me feature in the future, because I'm always looking for new ideas. Thank you very much for watching. Please have a great day, and we will see you next time.